All right, welcome in. Welcome back to the BFR Podcast presented by Sports Mockery and Fanatics. My name is Dave. I cover the Bears for SM. I'm joined by my good friend, co-host Ficky. Follow him on all socials at It's Ficky Baby. All his Bears content over there. Bears football is back, man. I'm trying to kind of hold my excitement here. It does feel like just the weather's changed a little bit. Well, maybe not, but it just feels different. It's cool to see. I mean, just we're talking football. We're not talking rumors. We're not talking anything else. Day one, training camp. We have highlights. We're going to go ahead and recap all the pressers. Before we get into everything, Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, Ficky, man, how you doing?
Good. Like you said, I mean, this is what we've been waiting for, right? We talked about last episode how it was nice to have a little break. It was. But now that there's actually things to talk about, and I know it's just the first day and we'll get into that, but like, it's only going to get better and better. Basically, this is the starting point, and every week it's going to get closer and closer and closer to the season. Yeah, you're right. It better. Now, when the season starts, who knows what will happen? But at least in this off season, every day we're inching closer. So it's just like the hype keeps building up. And we forgot about Hard Knocks is about to start here as well, too. So like there's a bunch of milestones that can happen in this off season that just kind of keeps building up the hype. So I'm ready. I'm ready to rock.
Me too, man. So I want to go ahead and start here. Obviously, day one of training camp, not the most eventful. However, there's still some things to take away. So light practice, of course, for day one. Pads come on next Friday, which is the first practice open to public that Ficky and I believe Jack, our producer, he's not here today. He's working for the Bears, of course, doing his thing over there. So we'll wish him best of luck. But we'll be there for the first open padded practice. Today, light as you expect. I want to kind of go over attendance, and then we're going to kind of get into what we like, go over the press conferences and everything like that. And we have lots of videos as well that we're going to go ahead and share. So first practice, we have Rome Odunze, who was out. He was not there. Gerald Everett, of course, and then Karan Amagaji. Mm-hmm. I'll get that right. This is training.
You got some time.
So
you got some time.
I know that, though. Draft pick. Gosh. Anyways, Gerald Everett, of course, he's on the PUP?
Yeah. Like not performing.
Or no, he's non-injury, related football.
But they said they knew about that though. So I think Eberflus said that in his presser that like they knew about this issue back early, like in the first mini camp or whatever. So I'm not too concerned about that.
Well, and then also we have Karan. We knew about him. He's still recovering from his surgery a few months back, I think, after the season. Correct.
Yeah.
So the only thing that was really surprising here was Rome Odunze. Now, initially, when I heard this, I wanted to take a little bit, wait for some things to come out. And of course, it's not great, for him personally. It is a personal matter. He missed practice to attend a funeral. We don't know kind of how close that was, of course, but either way, however you put it, it sucks. Funerals suck. But he's expected to be back tomorrow for Sunday's practice. So, everyone can kind of relax there. So, Ficky, any thoughts on those three players? Anything? Or we kind of just going to move forward here?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing there, right? I'm not even if it was some other, like if we would have never found out what Rome missed for, I'm not too concerned like one day when he was just there yesterday. You know what I mean? So it'd be different if it's like, oh, they haven't seen him in months or haven't heard from him or he's not showing up to things. That's not the case. So, and then the other two, like we talked about, they kind of, we knew about Karan's injury, but Eberflus definitely touched up on Gerald Everett, I think, yesterday. So I'm not too concerned about that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I was going to go ahead and just go through lots and lots of videos, some from CHGO, some from other accounts. I'm ready, to be honest, to have like other fans, public practices where we're getting different angles, different throws, different drills, because unfortunately there's, which I wish, that was kind of something I wanted to touch on. I wish they would just live stream these practices. I mean, it's free. It's just free money, free practice.
Yeah. And some teams do it, right? I'm pretty sure didn't the Packers do it last year?
Yep.
Not every practice, but I'm pretty sure there's a couple practice they live streamed the whole thing, and then they had like two announcers, right? That would like do a broadcast over that, and that's like phenomenal.
They make it a big deal, man.
I don't know. I mean, we're complaining about like little things, but like, is it a need? No, but would that be fucking fantastic? Absolutely.
You say, is it a need? I think it depends on who you ask.
It's true. It might be. it might be, especially how hard it is to even get, tickets to
Tickets,
the
man.
open camp. And not to go too off rail, but Eberflus did talk about how, well, they don't have Family Fest this year either. And there was clarification on why that happened, which is another reason why they need to leave Soldier Field.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Concert. Yeah, there's a concert that was on 2 different dates that they were going to plan. And this is like months ago, right? When they're doing their scheduling and whatnot. And basically, because they have the Hall of Fame game, they have a tighter schedule and they only had 2 dates, which they could do it. And there's concerts both of those days, which is funny because Jack will probably be working both of those. But another reason we're like, I know, right? If you own your own stadium, right? Whether that's in Arlington, well, it'd have to be in Arlington Heights, right? You don't have that issue. You set the schedule for everything because it's yours. So I think not having there's 3 things in the offseason that kind of made it tough. The getting tickets to training camp, right? Which we saw how tough that was. Horrible, right? And it was like that last year too. Not having a Family Fest.
This year was worse.
Oh, 100%.
Believe it or not.
But 100% because it's
getting worse every year.
Yeah, as long as we get better and better and competitive, it's going to be even harder. So you have no Family Fest, hard to get tickets, and the access, the visibility to like what's going on in practices, which this one is like, I get, this one is more on the lower end of the totem pole because at the end of the day, it's like, it's practice. They do like some confidentiality with that. But a mix of those 3 have made it very difficult to kind of like figure out what's going on with this team. You know what I mean? From a fan perspective.
Well, I think you're right. If confidentiality, or it's more so just maybe opponents gaining an advantage. Because if we're watching practice, damn well, Green Bay, Detroit, Minnesota, all these guys are going to have people dedicated to these streams as well, where they're not just watching, but they're taking notes. They're seeing, but that's where you can kind of eliminate some of, maybe don't show, some drills or some parts of practice, maybe the ones where you can't give up a competitive advantage. Like, I guess, you can show stretching and stuff. Like, I know that's a little, I'm joking there, but I mean like those type of drills where it's like nothing is going to be, there's no issue here when it comes to maybe losing games or losing the advantage against an opponent. Yeah. So I understand there's going to be some stuff you don't want to show. End the stream, man, or move it to special teams where they're kicking.
Well, just like they do,
I guarantee you thousands of people will watch not Trenton Gill.
Tory Taylor.
Yeah, Tory Taylor. Thank God Trenton's gone. But watch those kicks for 20 minutes while, you can't stream the other stuff. So
they could definitely script it. No. Yeah, absolutely. They could definitely script it in a way that there isn't things given up. Like, it's not like they would plan this out, right? They would know, okay, Friday, July 26th, our first open one, we're going to stream it, and we're only going to stream this side of the field, right? Or this field only, and these 8 drills or something. You know what I mean? They can set up in a way where you're not giving away plays and things like that. So I know there's other teams probably doing something like that. I think Pat McAfee show, they went to one of the Colts' training camps last year. They were there the whole day and they were streaming all different types. I mean, this is ESPN, right? Full access of one of the teams. So it can definitely be done. Maybe in the future that will happen because it seems like they're making more of a fan focused push. Like let's look at the social team now compared to 2 years ago, like night and day, right? So I'm hoping that maybe, obviously not this year, but maybe like next year, the year after that, they kind of get caught up with the times and they're a little bit more progressive with their approach and access to fans. Muted.
Thank you. I'm in mid-season form now.
There it is.
They did hire some, I cannot remember her name. It is slipping my mind. Anyway, she's in charge of like kind of social media and everything like that, content. So for me, there is, I think where she came from, if it was Minnesota or somewhere where they're a little bit more relaxed when it comes to even cameras, videos during training camp. So perhaps maybe not now, maybe that she's still too new to kind of maybe get those implemented, especially because the Bears play a football game in a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Basically.
There's probably that's not something that's on their mind right now, especially with Hard Knocks in the building, which you saw yesterday during practice or during the where they reported or during the press conferences. You saw all of the media, Chicago media, and then you saw basically HBO's cameras. Hard Knocks, just cameras. Boom mics everywhere. Players are walking into the building and you're seeing these guys. I mean, first of all, it's got to be, I think it's a pretty cool experience. If I'm a player and you're getting an opportunity to shine, whether you're at the low part of the roster, bubble, or you're a superstar like Jalen Johnson, who's pulling up in what was that, slingshot, similar to like Tariq Cohen yesterday. I mean, it sent me back to like 2019 where he pulled up Tariq Cohen, which I don't know if he's on a roster. I know he got an opportunity
I don't think so
months back.
Yeah.
To try out. But anyways, long story short, I think it's just cool to see Hard Knocks because that's about 2.5 weeks out between the first episode. So
maybe
super excited.
Maybe
I like what Mr. James just said there.
Yeah. Stream individual drills and one-on-ones. I agree. That's great.
100%.
Maybe the experience with Hard Knocks, let's say it goes well, hopefully, right? I'm thinking it will, but let's say they walk away from that and they're like, oh, obviously we're not going to do Hard Knocks type of access. They kind of do that with their own HBO. I mean, not with their own HBO, with 1920 Drive, which I think is fantastic. I love that they do that. But maybe they start to feel a little bit more comfortable. And when I say they, I mean, this is coming up from George. Like, he's making these final decisions, right? Maybe they'll start to feel a little bit more comfortable. Like, oh, we went through like the most extreme version of like cameras in your face. Maybe that experience wasn't so bad. So maybe we can like, put our walls down a little bit and stream some stuff. So now I know we didn't expect to go on a tangent about streaming, which is crazy, but the more access, the better. And I think the fans will love the team more. But before we actually go into our first topic, Dave, we do have a $5 super chat from our boy Tito. Said football is back, baby. 10-7 wild card. Here we come. Let's meet up for a game and party. Absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely. 10-7 would be fantastic. And a meetup, we could probably make that happen. I don't know what games yet, if any, I've decided or Dave's decided on, but we're working on some stuff.
So how it comes to this, I honestly just, if I want to go, I go. Simple as that. So it's kind of up in the air there. It might be week 2 and we're 2-0 and I'm like, all right, I'm going to week 3 and week 4 or something like that. I try to just keep it kind of flexible, but it is really cool to meet up with everybody and kind of get all of that down there. So I wanted to kind of go through, I guess start with the defense for this practice. So they did win the day. It is a light walkthrough, so I kind of want to preface that, but they were obviously the better unit, but that is expected. However, it wasn't, from all reports and everything we've seen, it wasn't bad by the offense at all. There was actually a part where Caleb Williams, I'm not sure if we have a highlighted, but he caught his own pass. Similar to Lamar Jackson,
which one play of the year? So
yeah, it got batted. He caught it. He didn't score a touchdown. He caught it and ran to the sideline, I think, for a gain of 1 or 2 yards. So not Lamar-esque where you're getting a touchdown, which that was insane. Did Lamar score?
No, he didn't score, but he gained
but he picked 20, up
he gained like 15 yards, and it was in a playoff game too. So it's kind of crazy, but that's Lamar.
It was in the playoffs. You're right. That is so. Oh my gosh, what an insane year, and he is MVP. So. Anyways, that's probably one of the crazier highlights, which we don't have. At least I hope the Bears team perhaps got it, but I don't know. Another thing that was really, really interesting, maybe outside of practice, was Gervon Dexter and how he looks. There was a report from Montez Sweat that during yesterday's conditioning test, so not today, he was actually testing with the defensive ends, which I don't understand. I think people are just like maybe read over that too quickly. It's pretty crazy to see.
No, that is crazy. There was someone last year, Dave, that I can't remember. Can you spark my memory? There was someone where there was a report like this as well, where they trained. It was an offensive lineman. Was it Darnell Wright? It was. Okay. He did the conditioning test with the running backs
on accident.
Yeah. And passed.
And he passed though. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the testament to
No, that's good. That's
crazy.
Good. That's great to hear, because in Eberflus's presser, he talked about like, especially these first couple days, it's like really making sure there's like 2 main points, right? Like installs, especially for the offense. And then also like making sure you came in like body was in shape, right? You took care of yourself in the off season. So it's great to see that Gervon Dexter came in looking like a beast. You know what I mean? Will that mean he will play like one? Maybe not. But does that help his chances of doing so? I would think so. Right? Because typically when guys come in and they're overweight or they're not in shape, they typically do not have that great of a season. Like historically, you see that.
You're right. I mean, what was his name? A couple of years back, he just retired again, or he unretired. He is for the Falcons. Yes, he played for the Bears. Obviously, he was.
Goldman.
Oh my gosh, Eddie Goldman. Thank you, Ficky.
Yeah,
he came in, I think, a little, not in shape, which is just never a good sign. I understand it's the off season, but you as an NFL player, you are expected to kind of maintain that, actually be even better coming into camp. Look at funny thing that reminds me of is DJ Moore. When the season ended, he said, "I'm just gonna chill, relax. I'm gonna eat some candy. I'm gonna go to Disney, family, everything, and drink Mountain Dew." I mean, he's just a freak where he can come in and he's in shape basically all year. So, but most players cannot do that. So, but for me, I'm impressed. I love it. Gervon Dexter going into year 2. It's not only big for him, but it's big for the Bears. The position he plays is so vital, and so I know. Him coming into shape and him doing the conditioning drill with the defensive ends, it's awesome, but
oh, did I lose him? Oh, wow. Looks like I lost him. Sorry about that, y'all. But looks like I can continue on what Dave was saying. But Dave was basically talking about it's important that Gervon comes, it's good that he was in shape coming in because as we all know, in this defense, in this Eberflus defense, the defensive tackle is one of the most vital positions. One of the most vital positions for this type of defense, right? You need someone to fill those gaps, and then you have your long, lengthy linebackers that can then play that role. You know what I mean? Here, let me shift this back real quick. But yeah, I mean, this is fantastic. I wonder how the reports are on Zach Pickens and if he's in shape as well. Oh, you're good, Dave. But yeah, who knows? It's fine. It's all good.
I was here in one second. I wasn't. What were you talking about, Fick?
No, I was just going off what you said. I said, because you stopped. The last thing I heard was you talking about how vital his position is. And I'm like, you're absolutely right. Because as we know with Eberflus's defense, this defense relies heavily on that 3-tech, right? Because that 3-tech will plug those gaps, which allows those linebackers to fill their holes and make plays. And as we know, we got some great linebackers back there. So, I hope this is a good sign, right? We can't get too drunk off the Kool-Aid, but I think this is a good sign that we, at least we know from a mental standpoint and how he's taking care of himself in the offseason, this man means business. And that's at least a good check. We'll have to see a second year and see how he plays out.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're 100% correct. When it comes to just coming into camp, this is what you want to hear. It could be the opposite, and that's just never fun. That you don't like to write about that. You don't like to cover, it's just it's a weird topic coming in camp, either out of shape or even Nate Davis, which we didn't even get to. But he was here. He was practicing. He was a full participant. And that right there might be the best of the day, because I understand there's a lot of, when it comes to Nate Davis, I think most fans probably have a very short leash when it comes to him, right? And I understand that. Last year it sucks what he went through, but even throughout this offseason hasn't been great, right? As far as the optics. So for me 100%. To come in day 1 and he's here full participant, working his ass off, that's what I want to see. That's what the Bears need, because even if he is, above average, that is so good for Caleb Williams year 1. And that's what the Bears, maybe they didn't want above average. They thought they were getting a little bit better, but it's like, if he can be here, be available, and then of course play at a high enough level where we don't have to worry about it. I mean, that's going to be so important. And then you hopefully, you get Tevin, who could be an I hate to say it, but all pro type guard. And then of course you have on the field. You have Darnell Wright. So I mean, it's just his position similar to Gervon Dexter. And then I know there's the center, discussion that's important too. And we'll get to that. But for me, Nate Davis, that's the biggest thing for me today. Outside of maybe, I'm not even gonna say it. Absolutely my favorite thing.
Yeah, I would agree too. And it's really just from the optics standpoint, because we have no idea how he looked out there and things like that. And that's fine, right? Because he's a veteran. I think he's gonna be just fine. But from an optics standpoint, well, first off, just in general, it's glad that he's there and ready to go. That means he's healthy, and that's a sign. And then also, like you said, from the optics standpoint, from the fan perspective, it's nice because it's like we don't I'm tired of the Nate Davis discussion because I feel like last year was just more of a throwaway. Now, that could come back and bite me, right? I might be on the Nate Davis train, right? Not saying he's the best guard out there, but I'm just saying I think he went through a lot last year and just wasn't his best season, right? And so we're hoping, like you said, this kind of is a new slate. First day, he's here, ready to rock and roll, and then we can just not worry about last year. That's the good thing about the NFL is it's such a week-by-week thing and a year-by-year thing that, like, people kind of forget. Like, as long as you're good this year, people will forget anything that happened last year, right? It's only when you start to stack bad ones up, and then sooner or later, you're kind of off the team. Yeah. So it's important. And also, we have a lot of money tied to him because he is a free agent signing from 2 years ago. So
exactly. And it's an investment that pulls, and the team, you know, they were high on him. That's why they gave him, you know, decent money when it comes to his contract. So right here, you can see in this video, which I'll play it through, but you see Nate Davis here. He's just ready to go. This is before practice, of course, right next to Darnell Wright, who is just so freaking big, dude. Like, good Lord.
Huge. Yeah, they're huge.
I mean, these offensive linemen, but Darnell Wright is just, I mean, that's such a good pick. And then, I mean, I'm excited about this offensive line. I know it's training camp day one, but it's like, I think just the Nate Davis, the centers, I don't think are going to be, we're not in Sam Mustipher territory. Right?
Hopefully not.
We better not.
No, well, they both have a lot of snaps as starters. Yeah. So I think, yes, you're right.
But I am cautiously optimistic here when it comes to talking about these guys who are similar to like the Lucas Patrick signing, right? Where it's just, you expected more from, you know, LP, but he also got injured. So it is what it is. But for me, I think just off the start with also offensive line just being here. Now it's early. It's day one. But to start off, everyone here, continuity is important. I mean, the offensive linemen talk about it all the time. Tevin Jenkins, I think a couple of weeks ago during his presser, talked about, you know, having the same guys is you know, after, you know, every season, basically going in and not just having a new line every single year is just, it's terrible. It's not easy, but to have continuity go in from year in, year out, and maybe you're only moving a couple, you know, maybe one starter instead of a couple. It's just, it's a big difference. And then Tevin, I think, is just, he's excited, I think, to really, I mean, he's in a huge contract here, similar to like Jalen Johnson, right? So, I mean, he's going to be motivated, and I understand you can't control your body sometimes, and he's been really unfortunate when it comes to these injuries, but all in all, everyone's here, everyone's healthy, in shape.
Well, speaking of Tevin, there are some reports not reports. So there's people in our chat saying that he got dinged up, but it's like a light ding, but there's back and forth on whether that's been confirmed or anything. I haven't seen anything, but that doesn't mean that it isn't true. But I don't know.
We'll find out more tomorrow for sure. But I think he's fine.
But I mean, a small ding.
We would have heard more. Yeah, I think he'd have been questioned. Now, even if he's not participating tomorrow, I'm not going to be too worried. Again, you hate to see it. You do not like to see it because I just talked about continuity being healthy. But I think he's going to be there tomorrow. So I would be shocked if he was not there. However, the Bears could also give him a day off. They could just really be slowing this thing up. But at the same time, how can they really do that with a game 2 weeks away?
It's true. That's true.
Unless Tevin's not going to play.
They're probably not going to. That's a good point, too, because Eberflus talked about on his presser. He was asked, I think, like the balance of like playing versus not. And he basically, I mean, I think he answered it well, but you didn't get it conclusive, right? Are they going to play a lot or not?
I don't think they know.
They probably don't. I think it really is. They have to see like how they probably have like an idea, but I think it's more like how well is this group coming together, right? Whatever position group they're looking at, or this person in general. Like, is Keenan going to get snaps? You know what I mean?
No.
Like Keenan, but he also said like
Keenan's going to be chilling. He's going to have a towel over his head and he's going to be chilling. I guarantee. You want to take a little bet here, Ficky? There's no way.
No. I don't think he should be. But it was his own words was like he doesn't mind playing. He was because they asked him like, would you actually prefer snaps, like doing preseason snaps with the rookie quarterback? And he's like, yes. So I mean, it's a rookie quarterback. So will he be out there? I have no idea. We don't know like the game plan behind all that. But anyways, I'm just saying all this to be like, we don't really know who's playing what, when, where. And like, we should just not be too concerned about like if guys are missing one practice here, one practice there. It's more of like, oh, like with Nate Davis last year, we haven't seen him for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? It's like when you start to see a consistent, like, where is this guy? And they're not answering the questions. That's where it's like, okay, I'm a little concerned. And it was concerned.
Yeah, man. It was very I don't even want to. Yeah, it was not fun, and it hurt Justin. It hurt the rest of the line. It hurt the offense as a whole. You kind of saw that with the early penalties, right? And then even in preseason, they were getting some snap issues. So
yeah,
or just count.
And you made a good point about continuity. This line, I mean, 4 out of 5 are the same from last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's we haven't seen 4 out of 5 the same in a good minute. Like, that's hard to do. So, and I'm assuming next year after that, it'll probably be 4 out of 5 again, because Davis will still be on a contract. I'm sure Tevin will get an extension, rights under a rookie deal, and Braxton Jones is on a rookie deal. So building that continuity is huge. And I agree. Also from like the snap count and cadence. I don't know if you saw the report, or I think Eberflus talked about it, and some of the offensive players as well. But like Caleb, what they noticed from this first day with Caleb is that his understanding of the cadence and the offense is at a much better place than it was before. And that's obviously all you can ask for, right? Because we don't want, like we said, this is installs, and it's really focused on like getting your cadence right, getting, breaking out of the huddle and getting all that right down. Because like you think of like someone like Rome Odunze, he never was in a huddle at Washington. So he's got to learn how to be in a huddle.
Yeah. There was a clip, I think, on the 1920 drive where Ficky, it's a really good point, because Flus actually went up to him and he said Roma Dunze or something like that. Real bit funny nickname, I think, which I guess that's going to be his nickname, where he just says his last name, Dunze. Really,
he'll probably come up with something. I feel like he finds something.
Yeah, I think we need something better from Flus there. But anyways, he goes up to Flus, and this is from the 1920 drive episode on the Chicago Bears YouTube. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Very, very good insight. I would say it's similar to what we're going to get from Hard Knocks, but Hard Knocks is probably going to be a little bit more. It's going to be more intense.
Yes,
They're going to capture some things that are going to be just, the social team's not going to put some things out there. The Bears, I think they're going to have to give up a little bit more as far as like giving up those, emotional conversations, or, these intense moments where it comes to camp or just inside the building. But this was Flus. He went up to Rome, and he's, Rome's a stretch, and he talked about that. Hey, we're going to be in the huddle today. You haven't done that. You're not used to that. You haven't done that. And Rome's like, I've done it a couple times. And he's like, yeah, but not a lot. He's like, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
So it is funny to see Rome kind of transition, but I'm very impressed, even from his presser with Caleb yesterday, and how he was able to kind of answer and talked about how he's going to compete to be the number one guy. He understands Keenan's the vet. DJ is a vet. He's going to learn from him, but his goal is to be the best, to be number one, right? So I love that mentality, but he's not going to be a diva about it either. So it's just
he's not that type of player anyways.
No, you saw. I want to talk about.
Go ahead.
I want to talk about Keenan, because you said about the huddle, right, and the offense and commanding it from Caleb. Keenan's press conference today, one of the things that kind of stood out to me was that Keenan said he could see the growth from Caleb from OTAs all the way to today in day one, where you already see him basically, he's calling plays better. He's louder. He's more confident than he was even in OTAs, right? And this is day one. So for me, that kind of stood out from Keenan Allen, who's a veteran. And I understand he may just be, this may be not coach speak, but, a player backing another player. But I don't think Keenan's like that, because I think he keeps it very, very real. He doesn't just say stuff to the media to say it. So anyways, I just thought that was a good point. So,
I mean, he made another one about Rome. He said that Rome coming in as a rookie was better than he was coming in as a rookie. So he said his breaks in and out of cuts, he's more polished, better route runner. So, I mean, this is I know we like Rome is good, right? But I think we kind of, because we drafted Caleb, we kind of like put Rome on the back burner. Like if we didn't have the number 1 overall pick, right? Let's say it was Justin Fields still quarterbacking, and we picked, at 9 Rome. Like, no, absolutely not. But people would be going crazy, like it'd be all about Rome. It'd be all about Rome. Everything's on Rome, right? But since we have Caleb, he's kind of been on the back burner. But we forget this is a top 3 wide receiver, right? In NCAA, top 10 pick. And honestly, if it wasn't for Marvin, Malik and Rome in any other draft, like let's say they all went in different drafts, they're all the first pick. The first wide receiver off the board, not the first pick. Sorry.
Oh yeah,
the first wide receiver off the board. So I think because Rome is like a quiet personality kind of, and he's behind Caleb, and he has 2 wide receivers that are Pro Bowlers in front of him, right? It's you don't hear much about him, but he could have a sneaky season.
We didn't get to see Rome today, right? But we're going to see a lot of him very, very soon, starting tomorrow. And I think even with Marvin Harrison Jr., I think he's one of one. I think no matter what year, he's going number 1. But I guarantee you, if it was Rome and Malik only, I mean, even this year, you could see the Giants from their Hard Knocks. Like they were in love. They liked Rome. They obviously went a different direction. They went with Malik, and you can understand why. But I would have been. If I was the GM of the Giants, they would have been fine with Rome too. It looked like. So for me, it is such a unique blessing, basically, to get Rome, a type of player, a luxury. Very good. That's way better than blessing, but a luxury to get him at 9. It's unreal, and not give up any capital. And I don't want to rehash that because we've already done that 40 times this offseason because it's so mind-boggling.
It is.
Thank you, Atlanta. But
yeah. Panthers
seriously.
and Atlanta, you have my blessing, both of you, because we would not be here if it wasn't for both of those franchises. Yeah. Thank you so much.
So I want to kind of go over a best play of the day. This is from I believe it's from Nicholas Moriano. I thought it was interesting, but Jaquan Brisker, from him, was his best play. It was Jaquan Brisker breaking up a Caleb Williams pass. Again, this is talking about the defense kind of being on one again. I mean, they're going to be so good throughout. They're already good from the jump, and we understood that, but it's like, this defense is going to be so good for the offense, especially for Caleb and some of those younger players. But he broke up a pass that was intended for Tyler Scott on a corner route. Brisker jumped the route and batted the ball down. The reason I bring it up, because I wanted to I know we touched on it last episode earlier in the week, Ficky, but training camp day 1 player I'm going to be keeping an eye on, because I think there's going to be such a high level of growth here. And I'm talking about maybe Pro Bowl player, is Jaquan Brisker. I'm serious. I think he is going to be unreal. This year. With Eddie gone, and I like, Kevin Byard. I think that's going to be really good leadership, but I think Brisker is going to be a leader too. Not just, maybe in the locker room, but I'm talking about just setting the tone. I think he's going to be unreal, dude. So for me, that's a player I'm going to be watching really, really close, because I think he's going to be so much fun. And I think he's going to steal Hard Knocks too. Maybe him and Kyler Gordon.
Yeah, they're definitely going to steal it. They already, Jaquan has a huge personality, and so does Kyler, right? So I think that's going to be easy for them.
No, for sure.
Oh, did you show the play though? Or are you just reading it? That wasn't.
No, I was reading it. Yeah. I was just
no, they don't have video of it. Back to our issue we talked about.
I do have a video of here. Brisker almost missing
their low card.
This one's funny. We got I think it's Walker, right?
Yeah, right.
We got they're just taking off without Brisker.
Yeah, see,
is that Nate Davis right there too?
Let me see.
Laughing.
Play it again
in the back.
You got Walker. You got Wright.
Nate Davis is in the back there. That's a funny place to.
I can't. To pause, I know, right? Oh yeah, that is him right there on the left side.
You'll see him right there. Look at him laughing.
That's good.
What you like to see, dude.
But that's what I'm saying. Social Team did not give us this type of content 2 years ago at all. Nothing like this. So it's good to see this little stuff. I know it's nothing.
2 years ago, we had the worst team in the NFL.
Well, that's true.
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
they didn't know it in training camp, but maybe they did. Maybe they're like, oh shit, the vibes are low. These players are not that great.
Yeah,
it was Justin Fields and I think Brisker was in that class, right?
Yes, because that was we
drafted
Pole's
2
first
defensive players.
Yeah, that was Pole's first draft pick, right? Yeah. Both of those.
Brisker was number 1. Gordon was number 1.
Gordon went first, and then Brisker went second. But they were both in the second round, so I think those were his first.
Correct me
picks.
if I'm wrong, chat though, because I
think that's right.
Was he Gordon?
Gordon went first because he was a corner from Washington.
He was the premier.
He was supposed to go in the first round, but there were some injury concerns, and we picked him up, and then we double dipped later on.
Because we had, I think that was Pickens. George Pickens was available when Brisker was. Remember?
Oh, yes. George, because we needed wide receivers at that point. Remember the whole talk. The whole talk of that offseason was like, we have no wide receivers. Can we please go get one? And then literally both picks were in the secondary. Oh, man. Hey, but it worked out, so I'm not mad about it.
I was pissed at the moment. And I wasn't pissed at the moment. I remember being super hyped for both of those players, but I was just like, I'm in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, we don't have a lot more quality picks that can make an impact. These two rounders were going to be, and then I think we went Bayless.
Yeah, that one not
so it's
didn't
like
out so much. But it's funny because Poles then did it again, not this offseason, but the previous draft, double dipping with Javon and then Zach Pickens. And we're both like, hey, offensive help in any type. Like, do you want to give Justin Fields any type of weapons? That would be helpful, but it all worked out. So hopefully, like if Javon has a good year, like we said, right? Then honestly, it's just like maybe we just have to never criticize any draft pick or any pick, at least the early ones that Poles makes, because he's hitting on most of them. So
yeah, no. And then this year you go offense twice, basically. Well, one because of Caleb and then Rome. So it is kind of cool to see that transition. But I can't you. Tyreek Stevens, a good one too, as he's on the screen here.
I mean, he's had some great picks.
He's had some really
great's not the right word, but he has he's at least hitting above average.
Tremaine Edmonds right here on the screen, right? I mean, these linebackers that they signed, we thought that was interesting.
Great,
but they're top 5 duo in the NFL. They're so good. I love the reason I'm showing these right here is I just like you can see the chemistry, right? Everyone, this day one, everyone's just excited to be here, and I just like to see that, especially with Hard Knocks coming up. But Ficky, I know you had some notes here. Do you have anything you kind of want to bring up here just from day one?
Look, it's a light practice. Yeah. Like it's installs. It's day one. There's not much you're gonna get from it. It's like first day of school, right? Remember first day of school, you show up. It's more about like seeing your people. You're back in the school. It's not like your classes. You're not learning anything, right? It's more like, here's how your classes are going to go for the semester. Here, you know what I mean? More of like laying out how things are going to work, right? That's what this is. It's kind of like, hey, this is kind of what we got in plan. So get ready. And then that's it. So there's not much plays or things you can talk about. And like once we get like a weekend, like maybe the start of next week, a week from now, right? Then it'll be more of like actually after we go on Friday, right? Like that weekend when public gets their first view of the practices, right? Their first open practices, I think we'll have a better understanding at that point, like what's going on, how we're feeling about the team. Right now, it's kind of like, they're actually a great point. Eberflus talked about like one of the main purposes right now is figuring out what works and what doesn't. So that's either with players in different positions and different roles and different schemes and different situations. And so they're going to see a lot of movement around, putting players where like just to test things out. And so it's kind of just like them also their first day of school, figuring out like, oh, how are we going to teach this class? Who are my best students? Who are not? Things like that. I think it's more of that. Mr. James here had a great one. He said syllabus day. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's syllabus day for these guys.
It's install. Yeah, it's a super, super easy day. I guess to kind of wrap up here with camp, because there isn't too much to get to. Overall, everyone's healthy. I know Tevin, people are a little concerned about that. I think that's fine. I really don't think there's too much to worry there. I wanted to go ahead and take the last 20 minutes of our episode here from day one and kind of talk about Friday's press conferences, because I thought there was a lot of good stuff from there. Not like important, but just some funny moments, right? That I kind of wanted to highlight and share. So first of all, I want to say one thing to the Bears is that we need more of DJ Moore and Cole Kmet dual press conferences, because God, it was so funny, dude. Like, I'm watching this one and I didn't post every clip. I just posted one because I was like, I didn't know what to do. This one was my favorite. Because DJ I don't even think he tries to be funny, but he's just hilarious. Like his mannerisms, his facial expressions, and then just the way that he interacts, and with the media. But this one was
Before you play that though,
Yeah.
because we need to do our mid-break read real quick.
Yeah.
We do have a comment here from MC Fact, said 35 likes and there's 160 in the chat. What's going on here? Let's hit that like button. MC,
Please.
every show, we appreciate you, a true OG, always giving us, letting you guys know what you guys need to do. So like MC said,
real quick,
support. Go ahead.
Some incentive as well, because I do have I have one ticket here for, which I was going to get to later in the show, but I think that's even better now, Ficky, to do it. I haven't tweeted about it, but I have one here that was sent to me. It's only one ticket to training camp, so I know it's not ideal for some of these people here, but it is going to be for Sunday, August. I don't know if you can see that. No. August 4th. There you can. Okay, August 4th right here, 8:30 practice. So Sunday, August 4th, one ticket to training camp that was sent to me that I'm able to give away. I'm going to go ahead and probably throw some details on Twitter, but if you want to enter, first people to enter, hit the like button, and you have to be subscribed to our BFR YouTube channel. As I get more tickets, I'm just going to give them away just because some people, they get 4 and they're only able to use 3. For this instance, that's pretty much the case. So if you are needing a ticket or just want to go on Sunday and you have time, I'm going to be giving this one away probably in the next, either today or tomorrow. So hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow Ficky, follow the BFR_pod on Twitter and all socials. But if you really just want to enter, just hit the like button. It really does help the channel grow. And then, of course, you are able to perhaps go to camp on Sunday. Because my bad.
No, you're good.
It scared the crap out of me a little bit.
It did. I didn't know what that was. But, yeah, go ahead and hit that.
I don't want to be long-winded. We're going to be giving away some camp tickets as we get them. Absolutely. We all know it was a pain in the ass. It was like Willy Wonka and the freaking, golden ticket to get some of these. So hope that helps. We appreciate the support though.
Before I go into our mid read, I gotta read this comment. Hendrick said, every time you two mention the old QB, I'm not hitting the like button. Bro, we're talking about he was on the team. We can't not.
That's fair.
If we're talking about something that happened 2 years ago, what are we supposed to say? That QB, right? We just said getting Justin weapons at the time.
Him.
Yeah, getting him weapons. He was on the team for 3 years, guys. We have 4 years. We got to talk about him. Anyways, yeah, but yes, we're moving on. We're past that stage. It's just we're talking about past history that happened. Okay, now I see a lot of OGs in the chat. So if you're an OG, please give a hashtag OG in the chat, which means that you've watched multiple of our episodes. We appreciate that. Also, if you're new, this is your first time watching us. First off, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Even if it's not your first time watching, but your first time in the chat as well, go ahead and give a hashtag new face gang in the chat, and we'll give a shout out to both the OGs and the new face gang before the show ends. We do this every show because we love to give y'all support. Speaking of support, me and Dave will be doing a private mailbag episode where people of our Patreon send in questions, and we'll be answering those and then posting it on our Patreon. So if you want to be a part of that or the future ones, please join our Patreon at the BFR Den. That is the BFR Den. We have giveaways on there. We're going to be doing our Madden League on there. All different types of stuff. We got giveaways already. Private Discord that you'll be able to join, that you can communicate to me and Dave on there, which we're active on. All great stuff, right? And the link is in our description as well if you want to join. And then also if you want to rep some fresh gear for the season before it starts, or if you just love us so much and you want to show us off to your friends and your fam, we do have a store that is the BFR store where we sell hats, shirts, sweatshirts, especially if you live in Chicago because it's going to get cold. Everything you need, we've got you covered. And of course, if you don't want to support, that's totally fine. But all the money that goes in there, we just take it and we pour it right back into the show to make it better for you guys, set up future events, things that we're working on in the background to really build this community up. So we thank you for all that. And if that's all too much, that's okay. And you just want to hit the like button, or you want to subscribe, or even just word of mouth, tell people about our show. We appreciate all that. We love y'all. Y'all are fantastic. So,
well, and also real quick, great job, Ficky. But our show, we've gained over 1,000 subs in the last month. So it's been unreal. You guys, first of all, just continue to do what you're doing. You don't have to change it up. But if you can't hit the like button, I know a lot of people are, what was the word? Lurkers in the chat. Lurkers in the chat is what we learned last week from one of our viewers. But if you can hit that like button, we appreciate it. If you can't, you just enjoy talking Bears with us. It's going to be fun. We're super excited about the season, which is right around the corner. What's up, Vic?
Yeah. Also, no, I think this is good. I might want to incorporate this. Also, let us know where you're watching from. I'd love to give that a shout out. This is for you, Dave. We have and I think this might be Frank. I don't know if I've seen you in the chat multiple times, but he's listening from Oklahoma, your state. So that's cool. Oh, wait, is this your uncle? Is this your uncle?
No.
What's your uncle's name? Sorry.
Dave. Same name.
How do I forget?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. I just saw Oklahoma.
But hey, shout out to Frank though.
Yeah, shout out. And then go Bears. We had to put that in there as well. Fuck Green Bay. So we appreciate that. But yeah, if you want to, again, OGs, we'll give you a shout out, News Face Gang. Also, if you want to comment where you're listening from or watching from, much appreciated as well. And also, I know some people can't watch this live, so we got to give love to people that watch on Spotify. Listen on Spotify and on Apple and any other podcast. So we appreciate everybody's support. All right, back to Bears football.
No, absolutely. I think it was well said. I want to kind of get over to just to end with some of our press conferences. Already seeing a ton of likes in the chat, so we appreciate that. Hate to hit that so much, but it does really help. So yeah. Anyways, this is DJ Moore and Cole Kmet. One of my favorite moments from yesterday I kind of want to share on the pod. Because this answer and this interaction, again, if you're watching or listening on Apple, Spotify, this won't do it justice. If you're just listening, you could probably hear the jokes and the laughter from DJ and Cole. But just if you are, this is a great opportunity to come on the show on YouTube and watch this clip. And I'm going to go ahead and play it now.
We will. Well, they pay us, so we got to do whatever they want us to do. That's kind of how that works. No, but we want to have a successful season, and we trust Coach that they have a good plan. And look, they've been thinking about all this for quite a while now. So whatever plan they got laid out for us to do during the preseason, whether it's in practices and games, we're going to be all for, and that's just kind of part of this process that we're in. So. Yeah, when they say jump, we have to say how high. So that's kind of the deal.
The telling.
Yeah, that's great.
I just thought it was so funny. He said, "You're not going to get me."
Yeah, that's facts. You look at him the whole time. DJ's just grinning the whole time. So
I love it, dude. Those interactions were just so funny. There was another one I wanted to share. Think if you have any too, if you can. This one, of course,
good. You covered a lot of fun.
We had Caleb and Rome together as well. I like that combination. Kind of felt bad in the beginning because you're going to see here from Rome, he's going to say, "Hey, this one's mine," because the first 10 minutes of this presser was Caleb, and you get it, QB1, but you have the number 9 overall pick, who's typically the star of the show. But you talked about it, right? A top 10 pick is going to get the shine, but when you are in the same class as Caleb Williams, it is what it is. But this was a funny moment because Rome's like, "I'm just going to play the clip and then we can react."
What kind of emotion, excitement? I guess both of you too. Like, what is the feeling knowing tomorrow you're going out on the field for your first NFL training camp?
My question, bro. No, of course we're excited. You know what I mean? It's our first time going through this process. Like,
what kind of
I'll play it one more time just so
I guess
I'm not sure if I had it loud enough.
What is the feeling knowing tomorrow you're going out on the field for your first NFL training camp?
this is my question, bro.
Anyways,
yeah,
I just thought that was
love. Well, you're right
exactly.
though. You're right, bro. They asked. It makes sense, especially for this team. We haven't had a good quarterback forever, and this might be the answer to it, right? Might be. All right, don't kill me yet. Just might be. But he's gonna get all the shine, and that's just the nature of the beast. But I do love how on that, if you listen to it carefully, she says Rome, right? She directs it at Rome, but then she also says both of you. So it ends up still.
You got to leave it open. You got to leave it open.
Bring Caleb in, yeah. But no, it's all good.
In our field, you got to get Caleb. You got to get Caleb in there. He's the money maker, the show. Honestly.
Yeah.
But Rome is too, and you got to give him credit. I just thought it was such a funny little interaction. You get to see these two who, on draft night, you could see they were close already, right? That friendship was already kind of blossoming, and now it's continued, even with the schedule release video. And then, of course, you have these two coming up together, which I think is just by design, one and, first, second pick in this year's draft class for the Bears, not overall, it's cool to see. So overall, just a really fun. I thought yesterday was so great, even with TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds. I
Yes.
thought that was such a fun, awesome press conference.
They knew who to bring, like how to pair these people up, right? Like
Well,
Tremaine and TJ are close. Obviously, they're in the same group, right? They're the same. I mean, this is the linebacker core right there. And then DJ and Cole have been close for, it seems like, since DJ's gotten here, right? Which is crazy to think about. You know what's crazy to think about? Cole Kmet and Jalen Johnson are the longest tenured Bears. Like, that's left from, not longest tenured, I should say. They're the only Bears left from the 2019 class, right? Yeah, 19. Because they were the first two picks. It went Jalen Johnson the second round. Same, kind of similar to how the Jaquan and Gordon, but it went JJ and then it went Cole Kmet. And literally everybody else that was on that team either is not on the team. Actually, that's it. They're just not on the team anymore, which is kind of crazy. They're like the true vets of the team, but they're still like 24 years old.
It's what's funny when you talk about DJ Moore, who he's just DJ. He looked like DJ out there today. He's going to continue. That's what I love about DJ. I think when we got him, I didn't even realize how such a talent, but such a pro, right? He's just so consistent, right? And knock on wood, he's healthy typically. He's a playmaker. He just goes out there and it's production, right? And we shouldn't be surprised. You saw what he did with the quarterbacks that he had in his previous last few seasons. And you talk about Justin, which I hate to bring it up. I know we just lost or something like that, right? But Justin, who was probably, you could say, still the best quarterback that he has
100%.
played with. And so for me, and then of course DJ had his career year last year, right?
Yep.
It's cool to see just how consistent he is, even in day one of training camp. So
I think that's why he traded for him. That's why when they went for the trades, they were offering Carolina was offering some other players, and Poles.
Carolina didn't want to give him up.
Right. And Ryan Poles said, hey, if you look at DJ Moore's statistics year to year, like you said, consistent. The man shows up. He consistently shows up. And that consistency, especially in the NFL where there's a lot of injuries and a lot of variables, that is so valuable to have. And you have to have someone like that on your team. And like you said, he's a pro. And maybe that leads that is a result of him being consistent, is because he shows up, gets his work done, and causes no problems. So great to have him on our team. Thank you, Carolina.
Yeah. Another reason, Bojack, I want to talk about a vet, and then I have one more thing from training camp that I want to get to that will end the show on, unless you have something else, Fick, for day one. But Eddie Jackson yesterday signed with the Ravens, 1-year deal, linked up back with Roquan Smith. Shout out to Eddie. I just want to give him some love. I'm glad obviously I knew he was going to be in the league, but it took a little bit longer than I think we all expected.
I mean, he's a pretty long veteran. Sorry.
Yeah. He's a good veteran, man. He's a good vet. I think he's probably a little bit, he's probably in a tier below Kevin Byard, right? In my opinion.
Yeah.
But he's still up there. I think he still has production.
He's a starter for sure. He could start on easily 15 teams. And think about it. He's not just going to like some scrub team. He's going to a team that was in the AFC Championship game last year, going to a really good defense. I know they lost Patrick McQueen, which sucks, right, for them. And they lost Geno Stone, who was technically like a linebacker safety, which is not who Eddie is. But Eddie's now going to fill a role that they need over there on a good defense. And consistently, the Ravens have a good defense. So I think it's good for both. I think it's good for both parties. That's why I think he
hell of a deal.
1 year prove it deal. You do well, they re-sign you. Like, good for him.
Yeah. Anyway, shout out to him. I like to see Roquan and them, link up. That was pretty cool. But this one, I want to end the show with another quote from Keenan Allen's press conference that I thought was just awesome to kind of hear. We of course have to see it, but it was on Rome Odunze. He said that Rome is a little bit better than me. When he came in as a rookie, he called Rome just more polished, right? I just think that is such a huge compliment from a guy that's Keenan Allen, who is, you look at him, he's just consistent. Last year had a career year at age 30, right? 31,
30,
I think.
Yeah, he's a little bit older. Yeah, 31, I think.
Yeah, early 30s, but just, I like that quote right there. Of course, it is just a quote. Going to have to go out there and prove it, but we all are everyone is high on Rome from anyone you talk to, right? You saw from Hard Knocks, which is off season with the Giants, and you see everybody from who, is a huge big on his tape and from college. And of course you have vets like Keenan Allen, now his teammate, who gets to, kind of show him the ropes, who I think we can't think of a better person to help out Rome because of just how similar they are in just their physique, their build, the traits, right? I think Rome is a little bit faster, at least right now. But for me, I just thought I thought that one kind of jumped out to me in regards to what Keenan had to say regarding Rome, who was not there today just due to a funeral. He'll be back tomorrow. He's expected to. So, shout out or praying for his family. Hope everything's good. Funerals suck. I said it before. We'll leave it at that. So, but I just like that, more polished.
Hey, look, cool. Vibes are high. This is great. I know people are like, what are these guys talking about? But it's like, this is maybe from a outside perspective, it's not as great, but this is exactly what we want. Like, if we want to be a championship contending team, or we want to have a long year run of winning seasons, you want days like this where there is absolutely nothing to talk about. You know what I mean? Where it's like they showed up, they did their job, things look good, or it was, you're expected up and down, nothing too crazy. They go home, let's redo it again tomorrow. So I think that's kind of, I don't want to make it seem like we don't have things to talk about, but it's more of like, this is a great way to start syllabus day, which I'm going to start using every season now for the Bears. And hopefully, every day they kind of build on that, right? There will be some misses, right? There's going to be a bad day. It's going to happen. We're just hoping it's not like previous off seasons where it's like one good day, right? And the good day's barely good. And then there's like 2 bad days where it's like really bad. You know what I mean? We want to see like one good day, one great day, one good day, one bad day, repeat, right? So it looks like, overall, they're doing well with the little hiccups here and there. That we have not seen in an offseason in a long time, at least from the offensive side. Defense, I think, is going to look good. They brought most of their guys back. I think they're going to be kind of rocking and rolling.
They are going to be rocking and rolling. And I said that was the last thing. And I know we have some questions, right, Ficky, we'll get to.
Yeah.
So this one was Keenan Allen. So basically back in, I think it was mandatory minicamp, right? Keenan Allen and Caleb Williams stayed in the same hotel during mandatory minicamp. And that's where they kind of spent a lot of time together, is what Keenan had said. So they were watching the NBA Finals, playing Monopoly Deal. And this is what Allen said: "I'm not a guy who masters the playbook by any means, sitting at home just looking at the playbook. That's not how I learn it. I'm a trial and error guy. I learned through mistakes." Just being able to sit there with him, Caleb Williams, he'd call out the play, I'd draw it up, and vice versa. So they would go back and forth doing the same thing. They would talk about the play, what they like, what they don't, what Keenan's used to, right, from Justin Herbert in his days over there. And then what he usually sees, so what Keenan sees, and then, of course, what the quarterback might see, and then going over the knowledge, making sure they were both on the same page heading into training camp. And then he said, just being able to communicate at this level with Caleb. Obviously, you got new terminology from college. You're going to get different coverages as well. Just giving him the knowledge that I was taught by being with guys like Phillip Rivers, Justin Herbert, and just making sure we're both seeing things the same way, right? So heading into camp, this is mandatory mini camp when it happened. So for me to be able to hear this type of stuff that Caleb is doing with Keenan, right? I just love it. It's little things like that, I think, that make not just Caleb and Keenan, but perhaps this team be great and be able to do some maybe unexpected things right away in year one. So I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but I just like that. I thought that was a unique, detail.
No, and I think DJ talked about that as well. Him and DJ were locked up in a hotel as well for mini camp as well, and they did something similar. I saw a report with that.
DJ and Caleb?
Yes, during.
Oh, I didn't see
it was
that
something.
one.
It wasn't today. It was. It was. I want to say. I saw the report somewhere. Anyways, but basically the point is to double down is that they are getting work in. They're getting work in, and that is exactly what we want to see. Because if you listen to the presser yesterday with DJ and Cole, there was a great question that was asked, and you may have tweeted this, but it was basically like, how quick does this offense need, or when does this offense need to get ready, right? And I think DJ said tomorrow, and then Cole was like, yeah, it needs to be here now.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think that's just important because the guys see the urgency.
Talk about pressure.
Right. But they see the urgency. It's like, hey, look, we have a rookie quarterback. We have to get him ready to rock and roll because basically they're like, we're going to help you get there because they're veterans. All his weapons other than Rome are veterans. So it's like.
So I saw it like that because they do want to get him going, right? You want to get this offense. You want to start going. A lot of these guys on this offense, they were there for the 0-4 start last year, right? It was horrible. Flus was called for him being fired. HR issues. The team was just, it was bad. They were trash. It was horrible. You want to get off to a good start, but also I see it. They want to help Caleb, but also I think a lot of these guys are veteran players, been in a few years. Keenan Allen, the defense is ready, I think, to win now. So I think there's urgency. Just they want to win, dude. And I understand they got to get Caleb. They got to get him on board, but it's like they also expect him from what they've heard, what they've seen, and what they're seeing in practice that he can do it. There might be some bumps in the road, but they expect to win with a rookie quarterback, right? And so they need him to be ready, and they're going to do their best. But at the end of the day, Caleb's got to deliver too. And so I think when I heard that quote, I think it's funny that you kind of heard it this way and saw it this way. I did too, but I was like, okay, maybe there's some pressure here too that Caleb's like, he's going to be hearing these things, right? That his teammates are saying like, they're ready to go. They got to get going now because they want to get off to a good start.
As they should. And that's exactly what you want from your teammates.
That's true, but as they should. But typically when a rookie quarterback comes in, there is that unique situation. Look at Washington, right? Jaden Daniels. They're not talking playoffs.
Well, look at their roster. That's my point.
That's what I'm saying.
He got dropped into a unique situation.
So it's like these guys are ready. So it's ready. Like we're talking like it's not a Super Bowl window, but it can very well be in a year or two.
Correct. Right? So they need to get ready. I love it though.
To get to a Super Bowl, you got to start getting to the playoffs. And so I feel like that's where we're at.
And I love all of it. I think the teams align. I think Caleb already knows this. Let's be real. Because DJ Moore talked about it yesterday. He's like the arm talent of Caleb is out of this world. So like he's got the physicals, but we know though in the NFL, there's tons of people that have great physicals. If the mental ain't right, especially at quarterback, it doesn't matter how well your physicals are because they can only take you so far. So I'm hoping that with that, he has a good supporting system. We're hearing good things around like improvements that we're seeing. I just hope that it all aligns and he's as ready as he can be week one. Again, you got to preface, he is a rookie quarterback. There's going to be up and downs. That happens. Even Stroud had some up and downs last year. Not many, but he had some, right? So that's the reality of it. But like overall, you just hope that he comes out the gate ready to rock and roll so that we can kind of put ourselves in a favorable position for when we have that back end of the stretch versus the NFC North. So
I love it, dude. Well, hey, I think that wraps up day one. We don't want to overload or just continue to talk about, some of these, I guess, minute details, but we kind of hit a lot of the big things here. We're going to be back at it next week. We have lots of content coming. We're excited. Ficky, let's knock out some of these shout outs and
got you here. So we got Vizzy Joe with the hashtag OG. Yep, Vizzy.
Love that. Love that profile picture.
The Abby's great with Mr. Peyton. Frank in here with the OG. Appreciate that, Frank, coming in from Oklahoma.
Uncle Frank.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I know. We might have to do that now. Uncle Frank, man. Well,
sorry, Frank. You're uncle now, man.
Sarone Collins. Let me know. Let us know if I'm mispronouncing that. But thank you for being an OG. Obviously, Mr. James always leading the chats. Appreciate that.
Love it.
Hendricks. Well, let me actually, before we give dues, let's go through the OGs here. So Chris Ford, an OG and from Chicago. Appreciate that. And then we have Cody here. OG.
Hell yeah. Cali.
Yes, sir. That's fire. And then where other people are listening from, we got Hendricks, who's definitely an OG. I've seen you in here multiple times from Maryland. Mm-hmm. He's the one where, we lose the like button if we talk about.
Is that like an anime transformer?
I can't tell, but that definitely
I know a little bit anime. I'm not deep in it, but
it's definitely a transformer though, for sure. Mm-hmm. Then we have I want to say Tale, if it's tail, excuse us, the South Dakota dude. That's crazy. I want to know
thank you for what
brought you out to. Yeah, appreciate that.
I want to know
what brought
you
to South Dakota. Yeah. We'll have to get more information on
that.
Louisville. This is Saran who said he's from Louisville, Kentucky. Appreciate that. Louisville's dope. And then you got Felix here from Cali as well. Yes, we're everywhere. Let's be real.
I love Pasadena in California, which we have two people from. That's one of my favorite little spots.
That's where the Rose Bowl's at, right? I'm pretty sure.
Right there, place. I was by it. Yeah, we go to the hotel right by it. So.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah.
And then Mr. James from Joylette. I don't know where that's at.
Juliet,
Indiana. Where's that? My home state. I don't even know where.
Yeah, come on, Ficky. I think is it Illinois? No, I'm pretty sure there's Joliet in Indiana.
You're probably right. You're probably right. That's funny that I don't even know my own home state. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. All right. And then we do have a question here from Mr. James. He said,
okay,
who was your first quarterback? Your Bears quarterback
that I remember?
Yeah.
Honest to God, I think it was Rex Grossman or Kyle Orton. Was Kyle before Rex?
They were the same time.
So that was my first duo that I could remember.
Yeah, I think that would be for me too. I just
don't remember anybody else.
I think Kyle Orton got drafted. Not Kyle Orton. I think
good question.
Rex Grossman got drafted in 2000, and he was a Florida Gator number 1 overall pick or number 2 overall pick, and we took him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's from Indiana, by the way. He's from Bloomington, so where I use that.
But yeah, that was my first.
I think that was my first two that I remember. Or God maybe Kramer. Us. Kramer was
actually
that right?
Kyle should not get. I don't know. I don't even know when he was. He was the 90s. Doug Kramer? No, I thought that was a little farther back.
Yeah, you're right. What about Jim, who does the announcing?
Harbaugh?
No, not Harbaugh. Harbaugh was late 80s or early 90s. Jim, he does the radio with well, I can't think of his name. Oh my gosh. The main radio guy. Why can't I think of his name? He just had a birthday yesterday. He does the 1920 Drive voiceovers.
That's not Jim.
No. But he works with him. And oh my gosh, I'm blanking. It sounds so bad. Anyways, I'll have to look it up. Maybe that was the first one. Jim Miller. Jim Miller.
Okay.
Jeez, Jim Miller.
I was no help there.
No, you're good. You're good. Actually, let's read through some of these. We're gonna go. We have one more OG here, Plastic Rocket. So appreciate that. All the time.
Thank you, Rocket.
Oh, here we go. And it's Sir Ron. Appreciate that. Thank you. Sir Ron is how we pronounce that. Appreciate that. So here we got Hendrick said Rex was 03. I said 2000. I was off by 3 years. And Orton 05. 03, I would have been 12. Dave, you would 03, I'd have been 10.
I was 6.
6. Yeah. So that's probably your first one.
But I remember Rex, dude. I do remember Rex.
Yeah.
I think it was the 04 season.
Definitely not Kramer, because Kramer was 94, 95. I'd have been 2. And I think Jim Miller was 94 to 97. So I may have caught some Jim Miller, but I was so young. Like, do I actually know? Like, probably not. So no, the nice little history lesson there. So appreciate it, you guys. Love it. Yeah, that was fantastic.
Any other questions, Fix? Or are we gonna wrap this? We're gonna wrap this one up.
Let's see. I think that is it. I will post this last one here. Appreciate it. From MC Fact again, 58 likes, 100 in the chat.
Keep it going.
Or past.
But we're almost at 2,000 views already. So appreciate, I mean, you guys, we have a lot of new faces. I think this is encapsulates Bears football is back. Simple as that. We got training camp. From here on out, it's going to be hopefully one of the better, most eventful, and successful seasons. So boys, if you
I can't wait for post games, man. That's where it's real. That's where the fun's really at. It's gonna be great.
So I'll keep it short here. But if we started this thing officially like last season. We have 2 episodes a week during the season, pregame and postgame. We go live right after. Give us our raw thoughts. We have voicemail lines. It's a lot of fun. And one thing you can count on, it is all Bears talk. That's all we do. Of course, we have a little fun, but we try to keep it as much Bears related as possible so we can just kind of keep this thing locked in. We know you guys care about the Bears. So do we. You can check out Ficky again at It's Ficky Baby. All socials there. He's one of the best, most up and coming, I'll say it, Bears contributors we got in the game right now. You can check out all my work on smsportsmockery.com. I cover the Bears for them. You can follow me on Twitter, all socials, Dave_BFR. But more importantly, sub to the pod, like the YouTube video before you get out of here. You can follow the pod on all socials. We're on TikTok, Instagram. Those places are growing, and that's BFR_pod. If you're watching on YouTube, it's on the middle of our screen. And our Apple, Spotify listeners, of course, we love you guys too. So, Ficky, anything else before we hop out of here, bro?
And then also give Sports Mockery a follow as well. They're our partners, so we really do appreciate
show would not have
help. So, without them. So we do appreciate all of that. But yeah, most importantly, we appreciate all of you, and I'm so excited that Bears football started, and it's only going to go up. So here's to no injuries and a lot of touchdowns. That's all I'm ready for. So.
Hey, we need that on a T-shirt or something.
Yes, we do.
One. No injuries and a lot of touchdowns. That's a good one, Ficky. I like that. Well, let me write that down. Hey, we love you guys. We'll be back early next week to recap And we hope to see you guys at camp. Again, we'll be giving away a lot of Bears training camp tickets as I get them, as Ficky gets them. So stay out, check out on socials for that. And of course, I'll have that announcement for the August, I think the Sunday, August practice. So appreciate y'all, and we'll be back next week.
Peace.